Have you seen hundreds of thousands of students sitting in an open factory warehouse, restarting a work from the scratch if it doesn't meet the standard, and the craziest art training in the world? And mental breakdown, spiked suicide rates. Okay, above all that may sound really scary, but I want to break it all down in this video and let people understand the crazy part of it as well as what caused it. And I assure you, the idea you sing on TikTok aren't always true. And I'll explain to you both negative and positive parts of it. This is probably the only most subjective insight into this crazy Chinese art school from me, as the first narrative I will lead you into it. So in this video, I will talk about how much it cost for me to get into this art training program. I forgot to mention, it cost me about 20,000 Australian dollars. Now let's cut it back. And how the people did and what I learned from there. As a start, I want to tell you the general structure of that learning outcome. If you only want a short form of it, the summary will be the general learning outcome is to get a student prepared for an art entry exam to get into a university. I mean, any university. If you want a full explanation, just stick with me and I'll explain. There's three main parts that we had to learn. One is color, which we use acrylic, and the second one is graphite, which we learn how to apply value, and the third one is called quick sketch. I'm not sure if I translated correctly into English, so the original audio got cut out. I have to add on some parts of it. The three main kinds of aspects that we had to learn, it's all standardized, so we had a really clear and specific criteria that we have to tick. And that kind of criteria gives you the only opportunity to get into a university. So the ultimate goal is to train every single student to be able to meet all that criteria. So the art training, I remember when I was there, the environment was like we had about 13-story building that was closed by the gates, so no other students can get out without permission. And that's kind of normal for every single school. But the strange part is every single window in that building it's not locked to that you can't open the window to get fresh air. It's just locked to about 5 centimeters and you can't open it further. And the reason they did that was because of the suicide rates. And it just proved that it was real, that people actually get so stressed and so mentally distressed that they rather just do some extreme actions. And apart from facility explanation, I think the people there is the most interesting part. I met some really strange and unique people, and which they cause a lot of drama. I mean, a lot of drama. And I remember there's student who was chasing up one of the tutor, and they was just deliberately drafting drama out of their own mind, and it's just disgusting to me. So above all that, I want to talk about the third part, which is training. And the training was basically I had to get up 7 a.m. and the class ends at 10 p.m. and there will be, I think, 3 or 4 classes. And after 10 p.m. it's called self-teaching time. It's not even resting time because you have to do the assignment. I was getting 4 hours sleep if I had finished all the assignment they assigned me. And the training was 6 days a week. And that one day wasn't resting. That one day is for completing an incredible amount of assignment. And they had to check the first day back. So the training was intense and can easily just destroy anyone's mental health if they are not resilient. But I was Chinese, so I was born to be tortured. So it comes to my fourth part. It's about ranking. That ranking was on top of that training part, extremely inhuman. I was taught by my tutors, and they were saying that I was that kind of people who can get into the top 0.01% of the whole city. And I assume like around 1 million will be entering that exam. I had to be 0.01%, and I had to be top 20 in that 1 million people. That's their expectation on me based on my performance when I was there. So that's an incredible mental stress just purely because of that. And they will rank people every single week. By the end of the week, they will give a mock exam, and everyone will do that. And they will rank people in the entire school, and they will publish it in the next week. So here was my ranking. Our school was like, we had 1,000 people, and my ranking was like number 20-ish. And so if you get like top 20 in that school, it's basically a guarantee that you will get into the 0.01%. And there was 2 types of exam. One exam is the standardized exam that's held by your city or your province, that they have a really standardized guidelines you have to match to get a high score. That was why you were seeing on those TikTok, and people just get mad and get like, you had to start over because it's not meeting the standard. Like people arguably saying that, well, art is not specified, art is not defined. How can you standardize art when it comes to it? The reason I'm telling you right now, because it wasn't art. It was purely for an exam. When you're doing an exam, you have no freedom. You have to go through every single criteria, even though it's not what you like. So that's basically the explanation for those videos. And the second type of the exam, which is the exam that's held by those institutions, those universities that specifically made for art, they have their exam that's prestigious, I think, in a way, because they specialized in art. So they held the exam differently. They want more personality shown, but they also want to see your skills. So it's still a bit standardized. You still need to match what they like, but in that kind of exam, you can show a little bit of your personality, and they will like a bit of your personality. I think I can find example for that. So people may ask why the exams in China are so standardized even for art. I think it has some historical reason for it. People in ancient China, they used to think going through an exam that can actually change their level of wealth, and people who went to the exam and got nominated by the board, they can earn better salary, they can move to the city, and they will change their family journey a lot. So that's why traditionally Chinese want to dominate and actually win each single exam and become really competitive. I think that's the main drive that Chinese tend to have a lot of expectation on their children, because they always put their hopes on their children. Hopefully they will bring wealth back, and that leads to my conclusion. Well, those crazy Chinese art school idea, it's basically mostly culturally based, and people just want to go through that exam and be successful at it. So what they're emphasizing on isn't really art. They're emphasizing on training on the exam. Their goal, and the only goal, is to get into a university, which is through a whole process of examination. So that's why people think that much level of standardization defeats the purpose of art. Because yes, it wasn't about art. It never was. It was about meeting expectation. I think the word crazy comes from that determination of exam and ace that exam. Therefore, I think the reality of crazy Chinese art school is basically just crazy expectations from everyone else besides you. If you like this sort of art content, please like, comment, and subscribe, please.